It's showtime, and we are live. And it's look. Firstly, apologies that we are slightly late. I was actually filming in the studio with someone, and we had to kind of wait a few minutes. But better late than never. We are here, and it's good to be here again. Big fight coming up this weekend. In fact, for me, massive fight coming up this weekend. I'm more excited about this fight than I was for Eubank Smith. Not taking anything away from Eubank Smith. Great fight, 50-50, but there's something about this one that's got me really excited, and we don't have that many days to wait. Don't forget, we are doing a live watch along on Saturday. We're going to get going around 8 o'clock. The undercard isn't the greatest, but we can do what we normally do, which is just talk until the main event. And then we'll do a Sunday session live on Sunday as we react to what happened on Saturday. So a couple of lives coming up. We're staying busy on the channel. You know what? We've got this for about an hour. So let's just get straight to some of the comments, and then we'll talk separately about Beterbiev Yarde and the chances you think he's going to have. The announcement that AJ will fight Jermaine Franklin, not officially announced, but everyone knows it's going to happen. And we'll also talk about what's going on between Fury and Usyk. There seems to be a bit of a problem there. I think Usyk tweeted something about Fury just wanting a lot of money. So there's clearly an issue there, but we'll talk about all of that throughout the live. Let's jump straight into the comments section. A load of comments coming in already, so let's do this straight away. What's this one? Matthew Shepard. Yes, Ade, smashing 2023. Was boxing better in the 90s without social media, or better now with social media? There is so much BS online, and it's stopping the big fights getting made, in my opinion. I think the thing about boxing in the 90s and the lack of social media is that we didn't, or as fans, we didn't really care because we didn't know about what was going on behind the scenes. We had no interest. We didn't care about fighters' purse, how many pay-per-views a fight did, promoters talking on. So we didn't care about any of that. A fight was announced, and that was it. Nowadays, I feel like fight fans are so invested in the whole story, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes I like to have that information to hand, but I do think it can be quite negative as well. So yeah, I think there is this investment that we have that we don't need to have as boxing fans. Just announce fights and let us watch them. But obviously, with promoters talking, fighters talking, we're kind of being dragged along a bit. So I would say boxing was certainly better in the 90s, but there are some good fights to be made in 2023, surely. William Jones, even at usually when a big fight comes around, I start to change my opinion and give the underdog more of a chance. Not this time. I'm afraid Beterbiev is going to eat Yarde. Yeah, look, I think that's what a lot of people think. I think a lot of people think that's how it's going to play out. There is something, though. I don't know what it is. And again, it could just be a case of as the fight draws near, you give an underdog an opportunity. But there's something about this fight which makes me feel like Yarde has a better chance than we're giving him. I gave him a 10 to 15% chance. I keep going up a few percent every day. By the time Saturday rolls around, I'm probably going to say something like 75-25. Beterbiev, for me, is still the massive favorite. But you never know. 38, you never know. Likes to get involved in a scrap. You never know. Jake Jansen, Ade, YouTube boxing, one thing, but got to admit, it's getting insane. MMA fighters, 50-year-old and retired boxers, now effing Geordie stars. I blame boxing for no big fights. Other sports don't have this. If you're talking about that, I can't remember his name, Aaron Chalmers, is it? The one that's fighting Floyd Mayweather? Well, he is an MMA guy. He fights on Bellator, so it's not like he's just come from that Geordie Shore program to have a fight. He actually can fight. But look, I don't know. It's always been there, in the background. Obviously, look, in the 90s, there were no such thing as influencers and Instagrammers and bloody social media people, so it could never happen. But if there was in the 90s, this would have happened as well. Look, as long as people buy tickets and put bums on seats and pay-per-view numbers come in, this is going to continue. I'm not trying to say that you have to like it or lump it, but it's good. It's there. It's there, Jake. It's not going away anytime soon. The numbers that these guys generate are too big. Like, I think we all heard that Misfits 4. So the most recent one done 300,000 pay-per-view buys. I heard the first one done something similar. With those kind of numbers, broadcasters and promoters and managers are definitely going to get involved. They're going to want more. I know Eddie will say he doesn't care about it, but I'm telling you now, he must be kicking himself that it's him not doing it and Cali Sauerland doing it, because Eddie would have had the option first because of that DAZN link. But it is what it is, man. Sire H, good evening, Big Depot. I'm really looking forward to this fight. And the boxing year has officially started with 2 great weekends in a row. Not many giving Yarde much chance, but you never know. Yeah, look, we've had a good start to the year. Let's hope that it continues. I'm still waiting for some big fight announcements in the US. We haven't really heard much. We're still waiting on Wilder Ruiz. We're still waiting on Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, an official announcement. I know Oscar showed a picture of him and Ryan and a contract being signed, but where's the official announcement? What's going on with Canelo? Is it going to be John Ryder? If it is, announce it. So we are getting announcements over here. I still think we're waiting for some big announcements in America. Like, I still want to know what's going on with Boatsy, what's going on with Bivol. Callum Smith looks like he's going to fight March 11th in Liverpool. So it's a good start, but let's not get carried away, because we know what boxing's like. They almost trick us, don't they? You think it's going to be a great year and then you get nothing. Like, I don't think last year was great. Living, a big support. I've seen your growth since 2019. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that a lot. Connor Reed, loving the activity, Ade. I'm picking Beterbiev or Beterbiev. People say it different ways, don't they? Round 6 KO, but Yarde to rock him at some point. Fight should be absolute carnage when it. Yeah, honestly, that's the best way to describe it. I think this fight will be carnage. Like, I don't expect to see many jabs being thrown. I expect big right hands from the off here. I think Beterbiev is going to go that way, and I don't think Yarde's going to fight on the back foot. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think it ends early as well, but I think for how long it ends, it's going to be great. Like, there's no way for me this fight goes points. It could be wrong. I mean, how many of us said Eubank would get knocked out? But I don't think this fight goes points. I think someone's getting knocked out. I think maybe both of them go down. I really do believe that. I think the difference is we've seen Beterbiev go down and we've seen him get up. He can't keep doing that at 38, but we know there's a lot left in the tank with him. It's going to be crazy fight. Ade, do you know what sleep is, dude? I do, but I also know what work is as well. So we stay working. We stay working. What's this? Lee the bald guy. Gangs in the house. Lee's in the house. Appreciate it, bruv. Thank you very much. What's this one? C. Kelly, love all of the content you're doing. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you. Stephen Tokley. Ben had the audacity to tell the WBC to hurry up when he flooded them with paperwork. He's also obstructing UCAD's investigation. Would an innocent man do this, Ade? I think not. I said this on today's video. I think I made a video about Billy Joe Saunders. I think that was today. And I think I mentioned it on there. I feel like there's still so much ground to cover with this Ben situation. I know Ben, as you say, is telling the WBC to hurry up, and he wants to fight again, and he's able to fight again. I think we've seen videos and sort of behind the scenes stuff of him hitting pads and doing. I still think there's a few hurdles that need to be overcome, and I think UCAD's investigation is one of them. It's going to be very interesting. If he's holding up UCAD's investigation, will he get his license back from the British Boxing Board of Control? Will that happen? Because let's not forget, I think one key part of the incident with Eubank that came out was that Conor Benn didn't renew his license. So as it stands right now, I'm guessing he doesn't have a British Boxing Board of Control license. If he's holding up a UCAD investigation, will he get that back? If not, will he fight abroad? Obviously, Matchroom do shows all over the world. He's got an Australian base as well. Conor, will he fight? Like, I still think there's legs to go in this one. I really do. Eubank Jr. said if he lost to Ben at 60%, he'd have to retire. Does that mean he has to retire after losing to Smith at so-called 50%? Or was this because of the Ben Eubank rivalry? I don't think it was because of anything. I think it was just Eubank talking. There was no 50%. There was no 60%. Look, it sold the fight. We're all invested in it. I thought it was fantastic marketing. But ultimately, it was 100% in the lead up to Ben. It was 100% for Smith, and he got knocked out by Smith. Look, right now he's with family members. He's obviously got a lot to think about. It's been a tough couple of years for Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, look, you can put all the trash talk and what he says to one side. This man has lost his brother. His dad's clearly going through something as well. So I think he probably needs to hit that pause button. I know he's only fought once in a year, but he needs to hit the pause button and really think of what he wants to do next. So your training set up, what weight class, who do you want to fight? Like really focus. Because if he does want to fight again, he's only really got a couple of years left. So he's got 3 or 4 fights. I honestly think a fight to come back to, if not the rematch, is Billy Joe Saunders, but it is what it is. John Seaton, anyone else walk around their place of work shouting belly in a Usyk voice? Just me, just you, John. I certainly don't. I don't, honestly. Quinn 40, I'm getting excited about Saturday, but everyone is saying Yarde winning will be a huge upset. So also a bit nervous. Oh, massive upset. It will be Lloyd Honeyghan, Don Curry. It will be, it's that big. It's that big. It will be the way, it's easy now not to think about this, but the way in which we thought about Fury going to Dusseldorf to fight Klitschko, it'll be that. This will be up there, the biggest victories in British boxing history. I firmly believe that. I'm not no historian. I can't tell you about the stuff in the 50s downwards, but this is massive. He's fighting the pound for pound. What's Beterbiev, number 7, 8? The unified light heavyweight champion. He's fighting a guy that's had 18 fights and won 18 and knocked out everyone. He's fighting a guy that makes people not fight again. Vosdick not fighting again. Marcus Brown, Joe Smith Jr. He's fighting a killer. He's fighting a machine. This will be a massive upset. Team Banjamek, Ade is the GOAT. I'll take that. I will take that all day long. What's this one? Jake Jansen, perfect time to announce Fury versus Usyk will be this Saturday at Yarde Fight. Get them in the ring. Social media explodes and we'll lose our mind. But nope, we'll just be Warren saying we're close. Look, I guess look, I can understand the frustration because it felt like this fight was done already. And now it almost feels like the pause button's been hit. They'll announce it when they announce it. Look, it's gonna. I firmly believe it's gonna happen. I really do. But obviously, there's an issue, and you guys understand the issue was the fight was going to go to the Middle East, and that's a different pay packet, it's a different pay structure. It now looks like it's going to happen here at Wembley, which again, or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is good for us fight fans. But in terms of the purse split now, it's completely different. Whereas Middle East, Fury probably would have gone with a 50-50 split because it's neutral ground. If it's happening over here, Fury's going to want a different pay structure. And I think that's the holdup. There can only be that. So there clearly is a bit of a problem. What's this one? Mitchell's mental health. Evening Mitchell. What's this? Deep random thinker. While more people think Fury will win, I disagree, and it will be shockingly easy for Usyk. More people want Usyk to win. Did a poll on Benson's thread with 554 votes, and Usyk got 64% of the votes. What does it all mean, though? I mean, none of that all mean stuff, all that voting and who's going to win, who's not going to win, who you want to win. They're going to get in the ring and throw hands, and then all that goes out the window. Rather than who I want to win, I just want to see them in the ring. That's all I want to see and all I care about. Like, I know how good Usyk is. Again, I've watched a lot of his fights. I've watched a lot of his fights back. Me and Tony Bellew watched Tony Bellew versus Usyk. We watched it together, and Tony's explaining to me exactly what's going on in the ring. He's insanely good, but so is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is ridiculously good as well and will be about 3.5 stone bigger. So there's a lot for Usyk to overcome, but it should be good. John Seaton, God, if Yarde does it, my goodness gracious me. Look, if Yarde does it, it's sensational. It really does. And then, I mean, then there's the Callum Smith fight. Then there's the Boatsi fight. Or does Yarde say, sorry, fuck all of you. I want the Bivol fight. I want the Bivol fight. I want to make some money. Bivol fight. I'll go wherever I want, undisputed. Like, if Yarde wins, he literally has the keys to the kingdom. I mean, think about the options. Think about the options if Yarde wins. Not only have you got Boatsi and Callum Smith, first of all, you've got a Beterbiev rematch. That could be there. You've got a Bivol undisputed. Canelo, anyone thought about that? Canelo would fight Yarde. It's jackpot. It's bloody jackpot. Aside from it being the biggest win from a British fighter in how many years, your next 2 or 3 fights, you're making millions. Like imagine all of a sudden Canelo Yard in Vegas. And that's not unrealistic. We know Canelo wants the 175 titles again. It's not unrealistic. Mate, I almost feel like no one is doing anything. So we've had no announcement of Canelo fighting Ryder. There's been no announcement of Bivol fighting potentially Boatsi, just because everyone is waiting for the outcome of this fight. Because this could change everything. If Yard wins, the Canelo say, "Oh, give me that opportunity." It could change everything. There's so much that could happen. Reese Cooper, evening Ade, and everyone in the chat. Evening. Ninja's Rose says Beterbiev in 3 rounds. Yard drop with a vicious body shot. Could happen. Honestly, could happen. Although Yard can hit to the body as well. I mean, I know Beterbiev and Lyndon Arthur aren't the same people, but he hurt Lyndon Arthur to the body several times. So yeah, who knows? Ade is big in the game. I do try. JD_05. Do you agree with Riakpor's statement about him being a bigger puncher than a Coley? And is Riakpor better than a Coley in any other departments? Both of them still have their flaws. Bigger punch, I don't know about that. I mean, a Coley can smash. He really can. But they're both big and strong. Riakpor, I was next to him the other day. Massive. Honestly, just a massive human being, broad shoulders, and clearly has power. Like once he started putting it on Glovacki, he didn't want to know. Like he just thought, wow, just got to cover up. These punches are too much. It's a great fight. Honestly, it's a great fight. I'm trying to think of what Riakpor does better than a Coley. I mean, a Coley's Achilles heel is fighting inside, isn't it? A lot of people say he can't fight inside, so maybe Riakpor does that a bit better, but I've not really watched all of Riakpor's fights to see. But I mean, right now for me, Cody's the number 1 in the division, and Riakpor, I don't know if I have him as a top 5. So I think there's still work for Riakpor to do, but it's a great fight. William Jones, watching this live, fresh off a full day tattoo session. Do you have any tats, Ade? I do. I've got about 30. About 30 tats. I'm actually just doing my legs as we speak. JD_5. You keep mentioning, is this Julian Jackson? I can't think of a more brutal KO than Julian Jackson versus Harold Graham. Also, how highly did you rate Jackson's boxing skills? Because he outboxed a lot. I feel like he was more considered a puncher than a boxer. Not saying he couldn't box, but when I think of Julian Jackson, I think of just a guy that would just knock your head off. But certainly could box. I don't know. I can't think of how highly I rate him, but certainly could box. Jack, Kraken fight coming up. Great fight. Not a great undercard. By the way, pleasantly surprised that it's not pay-per-view. That surprised me. I don't know why I expected it to be pay-per-view. Like I wouldn't have screamed and shouted if it was. I would have expected a better card if it was pay-per-view, but I was just ready for it to be. So that's interesting. Fahazan Riaz, just want to point out, I don't see this fight as being one-sided. I really do think Yard is going to take him out. And Adi, I want you to remember this, and I will message you straight after to remind you. Dude, mate, I don't know if, and I'm sure you are, Mr. Riaz, because I know you know your boxing. But I don't know if you really, truly understand how good Beterbiev is. I'm not sure if you've watched these fights and what he does. Honestly, someone tweeted it. Adam, I can't remember. Someone tweeted it today, like a known guy. He said he watched back Beterbiev versus Vosdik. He said Vosdik was incredible, and it still wasn't good enough. And I was like, that says it all. That says it all. Paul Adams, great activity on the channel where they keep it going, my man. That's the plan. 2 or 3 lives a week. Constant uploads. Why not, eh? Why not? JD_05. Did you watch the Jeffrey Dahmer series? No, I haven't, you know. I do need something new to watch on. What have I got? I've got Amazon Prime. I've got Now TV, and I've got Netflix. I've got all 3 of those fucking things, and I still can't find anything interesting to watch. What a waste of money. I might get rid of the lot. Stuart Smith says, did you hear the news that Ben isn't cooperating with the British Boxing Board of Control? I don't think it's the British Boxing Board of Control. I think it's UCAD. he's not cooperating with. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's the British Boxing Board of Control. Not that I know of anyway, from what I heard. What's this one? Wallace's helmet. Yarde might not be good enough as Beterbiev is too seasoned. Yeah. To everything, Beterbiev. But also, look, I mean, as much as I think he lives the life and, 38, you don't have to be an old 38, you can be a young 38. He's 38. Beterbiev is 38 and he likes having a fight. He's been hit a lot in his recent fights. He's coming off an injury. You never know. You never know. All right, a couple of super chats have come in. Let's quickly read those, then we'll jump straight back to the questions. What's this one? Robbie Mitchell. Appreciate your work this year, ads. Catching your lives 2 weekends in a row is saving me a small fortune. P.S. I've got Beterbiev by round 5. I can't appreciate the super chat, dude. I can't wait till all the predictions come in just before we go live. Because once they come in, that's it. You can't go back again. Like if I was to gun to the head, I would say Beterbiev will get rid of him second half of the fight. So I'd say round 8. I think that would be mine, round 8. Super chat here from Chris Andre. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Go and check out Chris Andre's channel. It's growing. I think Chris, probably correct me if I'm wrong. I think Chris is probably like 6,000 subs. That should get to 10,000 by the end of the year if he keeps pushing out the content, which I'm sure he will. Ade, you legend. Love that episode with you and Bellew. If Yarde wins, I think Canelo fight happens, but I demand it at the Emirates. He's Arsenal, isn't he? He is, yeah. I'll be sitting next to Saka and Emil Smith Rowe with AFC as champs. Jesus. You know what it is about that? It's funny because I was speaking to John Ryder about this, and I was like, John Ryder, Arsenal as well, from the Islington area, so like proper Arsenal. And I was like, John, would you prefer the fight with Canelo? Because it looks like it will be Canelo, John Ryder, by the way. Would you prefer that at the Emirates or Vegas? He was like, Vegas. He wants his name up in lights in Vegas. And I get that. I understand that. A lot of the UK fighters want their name. He said he'd in fact, not just Vegas, he'd rather do Madison Square Garden as well before the Emirates. So I don't know if it's UK fighters' dreams to have fights in the Emirates or Wembley or whatever. Maybe because they're not traditional boxing. They're not boxing venues, are they? Whereas Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, MGM Grand, you've grown up knowing about them, watching them, Madison Square Garden. So I do think if Yarde does win and he's offered the opportunity, and this is all just ifs and buts right now, he's offered the opportunity, Emirates or Vegas, he's going to go Vegas. And I think there's more money in Vegas as well. In fact, there's a lot more money in Vegas. All right, where were appreciate the super chats as well, brother. Thank you very much. 2 secs, just trying to get back into what's this one? Ade secured UFC tickets this morning on O2 priority. Can't wait for the homecoming for Leon. Will you be there? Literally sorting it as we speak. And hopefully we'll be there. I'm also, I think, guys, gonna start doing some stuff for the PFL, Professional Fighters League. Obviously, the Zone have hooked up with the PFL, and I have to admit I don't know all the fighters in the PFL, but I know my MMA, so I think it'll be easy to pick up. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Where are we? Nigel at 78 says, I want Yarde to do it because he's the home fighter, but I don't want him to win because he smashed me. Conflicted. I need to understand what you mean by that, smashed me. But my reason to be sort of conflicted is I want Yarde to win because he's from here, from my area. Literally, we grew up 10 minutes from each other. But I'm desperate to see Beterbiev versus Bivol. I'm desperate to see number 1 versus number 2, whichever way you have it. So I'm very conflicted, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. Marky Mark, is there a rematch clause in the Beterbiev fight from Beterbiev's team? No, it's a mandatory. So there should not be a rematch clause in there. I'll be very, very shocked if it's there. 2 seconds. Couple of super chats. Just going to quickly read those, then we'll jump straight back up. Where are we? Rohit, let me say his name correctly. Srinivasa. I think it's Srinivasa. Rohit Srinivasa. I think that's correct. Appreciate the super chat, brother. David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. Faults. I think fireworks, plenty of bad blood as well. There is a lot of bad blood, and I think Plant's knockout of Anthony Durrell, and I know Anthony's faded, shows that there's power there as well. When you think of Plant, you maybe think of a back foot fighter that's got decent hands and decent foot speed. There's power there. And I wonder if they've worked on that after the Canelo fight. That hook was incredible. But Benavidez just seems to be the one guy everyone thinks can, like, Canelo's obviously godlike at 168. Benavidez is the one guy that everyone thinks can beat Canelo at 168. So I think there are fireworks, but an A on his A game, Benavidez, I think will get rid of Caleb Plant. But thank God it's happening. We're lucky. G-Man, salute to Ade. Yarde versus Beterbiev fight week. Let's go. Dude, when are you down? Let me know if you are around on Friday. If you are, get your ass to the studio. He's here. G-Man's flying in from Ireland for this fight, I've been told. So if you are, get to the studio and hopefully we can do something. We can film something. What's this one? Philip Answer. What's your most anticipated fight of the year so far? I was going to say Tank Ryan, but it's not been announced, but it has to be Fury Usyk. It just has to be. It's an undisputed heavyweight title fight. It just has to be. And you know the best thing about it as well, both of them are unbeaten. So it's not like an undisputed where you feel like one's got both of them are unbeaten. Both have looked really good recently. Both are coming off like apart from the fact that it was Dillian White and Chisora, you can get rid of all that nonsense. One's beaten Deontay Wilder, one's beaten AJ. So it was almost 2 semi-finals and they've come through. So for me, I think it's that one. Good question. Brendan Owosu, can Usyk become the GOAT if everything goes his way? No. I mean, look, I get it. Undisputed in 2 weight classes. I mean, your name's got to be in the conversation. Undisputed in 2. But greatest of all time? No. I mean, there's people out there that have had 100 fights. You know what I mean? I know it's a different time, a different era, but not for me. But it'll be in the conversation. Like, if he becomes undisputed in 2 weight classes, like there's not many fighters in the last 20 years that you could chuck in the conversation for the greatest of all time. But he would be alongside the way we chuck in Floyd and Manny. He's got to be undisputed in 2 weight classes. And not just that, you've beaten everyone you should have beaten. He's got to be in it. I would love him to, you know what? If he were to beat Fury, obviously there's a rematch clause, but if say there wasn't, and then to fight Joyce and Wilder and beat them, fucking hell. Jeez. Jack, speak it, believe it, achieve it. Lions in the camp. I've not heard them say that for a long time. I haven't really seen much of Tunde in this build-up. I wonder if he's decided to, you know what, just stay away from it, stay away from the cameras, really focus on the job at hand. I wonder. Super chat here from Alexander Wilson. I was speaking to a former world champ, and he said Beterbiev's corner of Mark Ramsey and John Scully's boxing IQ is second to none. Great shout. Great shout. Don't forget the impact of corners on the fights. Yeah, that's massive, isn't it? When you think of that, Mark Ramsey and John Scully, when you think of that, that's incredible. One thing we can all agree on is that Tunde maybe got it wrong in the corner when they fought Kovalev. Got it wrong, right? They have brought in James Cook, who is experienced. I've been around James Cook, and he's so laid back and chilled. Like, the intensity of a fight, don't change him. It won't change him. He'll be in the corner. So I think that's important. Is that as good as Mark Ramsey and John Scully? No, but I think it's an important cog in the wheel to have someone like Mr. Cook in the corner. So that might be a little difference. G-Man says, mate, I'm staying in Stratford on Friday, 100%. Give me a call, dude. Let's set something up. I will speak to my cameraman who has just actually left and see if we can do something. But if not, me and you will do something anyway. I'm in Stratford. You're in Stratford. Let's get it done. Ade and G-Man, we might look. We're sorting this out now. We could do a live on Friday. G-Man's in the building. Where are we? I just saw something crazy. Sonny Edwards versus Ngannou in the works. I'll stop it, brother. Come on. I love Sonny Edwards, by the way. I love his personality. I really do. I interviewed him 2 weeks ago. It's on the Zone's platform. Very interesting guy. Very interesting. Igor Tomilov says, hey, Ade, glad to be joining you live streams. How do you compare Yarde to previous Beterbiev's opponents. Don't even feel that he's toughest opponent. I understand what you mean. No, it's not. It's not. And I was thinking this the other day. Like, I had so many questions to ask Beterbiev and Yarde, but obviously the zone were blocked from unfortunately, going to the press conference, which is a joke, an absolute joke. That's tomorrow. And I was going to ask him, like, how would you compare Yarde to Marcus Brown, to Joe Smith, to Vosdick? And if we're being honest, based on CVs, Anthony's below all of them. But all three of them, no, actually, Joe Smith didn't. Vosdick certainly caused him problems, and so did Marcus Brown. I just wonder if they've taken a bit from Beterbiev. Because he got hit. Have they started to maybe sort of chip at the tree a little bit? And could Yarde capitalize on that? The answer is probably no. But in answer to your question, I do feel like Beterbiev's previous opponents are better than Yarde. But again, this is boxing. This is boxing. Deep Random Thinker, thoughts on Usyk versus Beterbiev at cruiserweight. Usyk was the undisputed cruiserweight. Like, Usyk was undisputed cruiserweight champion. So it's got to be Usyk. It'll be interesting to see. Probably a bit too late now for Beterbiev to go up to cruiserweight. And the guys up there are very big. But I'd love to see Beterbiev put on a bit of weight. I'd like to know what he walks around at and just go and try cruiserweight, because he's clearly the biggest light heavy. He's massive. What's this one? Amandeep Johal says, has Eddie got any big shows? Feels like he's number 3 in the UK. Wow. I don't know about that, dude. Number 3 in the UK. I mean, look, by the way, it's good. It's all competition. I mean, I think, and because of that competition, we're seeing Sky put on better shows and get bigger. We're seeing Queensbury put on big shows. So as a fight fan, when people say things like Matchroom's losing it and Matchroom's number 3, we should just be happy. We should be happy that each week it looks like we're getting good boxing shows. Look, for the record, I don't think Matchroom's number 3 at all. Let's not forget, in a couple of weeks' time, we've got Leewood, Mauricio Lara coming up. I think there's a show in Liverpool, which is headlined by Callum Smith. We've got AJ coming up as well. So I don't think it is number 3, but if it is, it means that number 1 and 2 are doing good things, and that's important, right? Happier 8,000 says, real boxing on this weekend, no BS YouTube cards or discussion. Is that a smiley face? It is a smiley face. Emmett Oliver, Billy Joe versus Eubank is still a pay-per-view fight. Is it? Shouldn't be. And I guess this is the issue with boxing. It shouldn't be. But I guess the money you need to pay both of them would mean it is. But it shouldn't be. We've not seen Billy Joe in the ring for 2 years. The last time we saw him, he got smashed to pieces by Canelo. And the last time we saw Eubank, he got put to sleep in 4 rounds by Liam Smith. That should not be a pay-per-view fight. Not in my eyes, but I can understand why it is. But let's be honest, it shouldn't be, should it? Super chat has just come in. Let's quickly read that, then we'll get to it. What's this one? No name. I was in Lekki in Lagos in December and I couldn't believe how nice it was. Now I see why you go to Koi for holiday. Keep up the good work. Long time follower. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Yeah, I love going back to Nigeria. I love it. I just like being home. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, UK is my home and I've been brought up here, but I am Nigerian, and I think the idea of just going back home, it's sunny, it's nice, food's good, everything's perfect for me. So I will try and go as much as possible. The only thing I fucking hate is how much the flights cost. I think they're a joke, absolute joke. Dark 54. Who does Callum Smith fight in March? Richards or a foreigner? Oh, I didn't. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I didn't think Craig Richards. I didn't think Craig Richards. Craig Richards was supposed to fight Bolotniks, right? That's a good shout. I don't know if Craig will take that fight. I mean, look, in fact, I think Craig would, because Craig's a boxer. Craig's in his 30s. It's a big money fight. I like that. I like that shout more. I mean, look, I like the Boatsi shout more. But when you say foreigner, I mean, look, some good foreigners out there. Let's not act like it's only the Brits in the US that produce good light heavyweights. But I'm liking your Richards shout. And Richards has just started training again. Like, I personally, because Richards is coming off a loss, I like the Bolotniks fight a bit more. I think it's a winnable fight. It's a tough one. It's a winnable one. I wouldn't, off the back of a loss and injury, jump to Callum Smith. I wouldn't. Not Sam Richards couldn't win, but Callum's looking very good under Buddy McGurk. So I think Callum goes another route, Richards goes another route. But I like the shout. Didn't even think of that, dude. Who was that? Dark 54 with the TBE hat on. Dan Evans. I think Beterbiev sparks Yarde in less than 6 rounds. He's an absolute monster. I'm even starting to believe he could beat Bivol. That's the fight I want to see. You know, even if he does spark him in 6 rounds, it's going to be a good 6 rounds. You know what I mean? It's going to be a good 6 rounds. I think that's what we know we're going to see. It's not going to be no joke of a 6 rounds. It's going to be entertainment for 6 rounds. That's what I think. What's this one? Is this a football question? Ade, who should Everton appoint? Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, former Burnley manager. For those of you that are not into your football, I think it'll be him. Stephen Tokley. British boxing is awful. Wow. We've just had an explosive KO win on pay-per-view. Now it's what champion will pay the most money to KO Smith. We have gimmicks like Fisher eating Chinese instead of elite prospects. Jesus Christ, Stephen. It's not that bad. British boxing is not that bad. Trust me. I mean, would you prefer American boxing when you have to fucking pay $100 for a pay-per-view event? It's not that bad over here. Look at what we could get in the next 12 months over here. We've got some good fights. Let's not forget as well what we had last year. I mean, Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall pulled on something a bit special for us. No, I loved that. I loved Lee Wood, Michael Condon. I loved Craig Richards versus Boatsy. There were some good fights last year over here. I don't think Fury was in good fights, but it was good to see Fury fight over here. AJ is going to fight over here again. And I think AJ's next couple of fights will be in the UK. It's not all doom and gloom. Is it as good as it was a couple of years ago? No. But I do think it's good. And you know, when you said we've just had an explosive KO win on pay-per-view, that's just how it works. That's just how the cookie crumbles. No one expected that. Everyone expected a 12-round war. So I don't know. What's this one? Ade, what do you make of what I DM'd you yesterday regarding Billy Joe Saunders' clip? Yeah, you guys have probably seen this. Billy Joe Saunders airing his conversation with Ben Shalom. Hate it. I absolutely hate it. I mean, it's one of the worst things for me. A conversation between two people is a conversation between two people. It's not supposed to be aired. Why are you recording my conversation? I don't like it at all. One thing, I guess the only positive out of it is that Billy Joe Saunders is desperate to come back. We know that. And I think we can all agree now it's probably not going to be with Boxer or Sky. But yeah, not a fan of that at all. At all. A lot of you are saying this. Beterbiev or Beterbiev will outbox Yarde. If the KO comes, it comes. He ain't stupid. Nah, that's not how he fights, dude. I don't know if you've watched these fights. That's not how he fights. He doesn't outbox you. He goes for the KO. There's a reason he has 18 KOs from 18 fights. I know what you mean because he can box, but that's not what he does. He now just goes to destroy you. That's the way he fights now. This one's interesting. We've been waiting on the green chair meet and greet for years, Ade. Come on, let's just set a date, brother, and a time. You know, I would love to do a meet and greet. Like Box Park have reached out to me so many times and said, Ade, let's get your green chair there and let's do something. Food, music, a couple of special guests. I don't know if anyone's going to turn up. I'll be honest with you, that's my real thing. I don't want to do a meet and greet and 5 people turn up. Like if I feel like 100 people turn up and it's worth it, I'll do it. But I'm not quite sure if that's the case. Amuse Dixon, big love for you, bro. You're doing a great job. Thank you. That's a beautiful G-Wagon. Is that a G-Wagon, your photo? It is. One of my dream cars. I love that. I think this goes on. Did you see the leaked call between Billy Joe and Ben Shalom? I think it was a few months ago. Ben trying to sign him sounded a bit cringe. So I don't. Depends what you mean, cringe, desperate. I don't like Billy's side of it. I don't mind Ben Shalom's side of it because I know for a fact that's how people get down behind the scenes. But I just don't like Billy airing it. I just don't like that. I feel someone else done something similar to Ben Shalom. I don't know if they look at him as sort of easy pickings when he's interviewing someone. He said, "Don't ask me that question." They showed that bit. What's going on? Why are people doing this? Don't know. Shaddai says, did you watch Eubank Sr.'s interview? I think his comments on Mayweather was spot on. He has ruined boxing by making it all about money and fame rather than pride and the pursuit of greatness. Nonsense. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. Mayweather worked for that money. Like Mayweather took B-side against Arturo Gatti. People act like Mayweather for the first 28, 30 of his fights weren't getting paid like that. He had to work to do that. Mayweather, before he even started making money, was a free weight world champion. It's similar to Pacquiao. Pacquiao, before he started making big money, like Pacquiao's real big money was when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. He was already a 6-weight world champion by then. Like these people, everyone wants Mayweather money without doing Mayweather work. I'll repeat that. Everyone wants Mayweather money without doing Mayweather work. Mayweather worked for that money. He worked for that money. Go look at how much Mayweather got paid for his fight with Diego Corrales. He didn't get paid that much. But Mayweather reinvented himself from Pretty Boy to Floyd, and that money that he made, he deserved every single penny of it because he filled out arenas and done crazy pay-per-view numbers. I have no problem with Mayweather making the money he made because he worked for it. The problem I have now is the fighters want to get Mayweather money and you're not doing great pay-per-view numbers and half of your arena's comps. So I completely disagree with, if Eubank did said that, I'm surprised because it's such a dangerous sport. But if you get everything you're worth, I think the fighters nowadays are maybe asking for stuff they're not worth. I think that's the problem. But Mayweather, 100%. You're talking about one of the greatest fighters of all time. 100% deserved every penny he got. 100%. Gary Mason, I went into a bit of a rant there. What's your take on the elbow? Nah, not for me. I've watched it back and forth. I've watched it a few times, and I think it's a flurry of punches, and I think he tries to go for a hook, and it lands. It's almost a kind of just throwing it through. Did he land an elbow? Yeah, I think he did. Did he I think this is the key. Was it intent? Did he intentionally land the elbow? I don't think so. I don't think he did. Ade, any chance we might see you do post-fight analysis with Showtime Sean Porter? I'm actually speaking to Sean about going on his show. So I'm going to go on Sean's show very soon, I think. Someone reached out to me, someone from that team, just to almost, I think, to do an English review, like be like the English voice. So yeah, we'll see. No, where are we? Paul Adams, what's Eubank Sr. doing? Gone from dancing around at press conferences to vanishing during the Benn build-up. Pissed off at Junior? No, not at all. Not at all. Like, dude, he's going through something. I mean, again, his son passed away last year, or at the time it would have been last year. He's going through a lot. You can see it in his interviews. He's going through. Some people are able to deal with grief in a short space of time. Some people just, like, I mean, I follow Eubank and what he does quite a lot on social media, and he was in South Africa. He's been back to the West Indies. He's just living his life right now. He's living his life, and he's handed over the reins. There was a time when he was with Junior because he felt Junior needed his help. Now it's almost a case of, you're my son, you can go and do it as you want. But he knows how dangerous the boxing game is, and he felt like there was a time when he needed to hold Junior's hands. Now Junior's his own man, and now Chris Sr. can go and do what he needs to do. Ade, is Joshua fight at the O2 a good idea? Do you think you could do a stadium? Fury did in December versus Chisora. No, I think the O2 is fine. I don't know if AJ coming back after Fury did a stadium off the back of beating Wilder for a third time for me, beating Dillian White, and it's just Fury was ripe for a stadium. AJ isn't. Like, you've lost back-to-back fights. Let's start small-ish again. Could he fill a stadium? Maybe, but it doesn't always have to be stadium. But personally, I love the atmospheres at arenas rather than stadiums. Don't get me wrong, I've been to Wembley and I've been to Tottenham, and it's fantastic. But the atmosphere inside a stadium when the noise just doesn't leave the building, insane. Should Benn be cooperating with UCAD investigation? Sounds like he isn't at the moment. Yeah, I think he should. But I think there's a lot more to it than that. But I think he should. Who am I? So yeah, so I'm not quite sure, but I think he should. Arthur wins by yards. His boxing's Khabib. I don't know if he is boxing's Khabib. I don't think. I think I've only seen Khabib in trouble or even hit or hurt or wobbled once, and that was against Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson caught him with a good right hand. I remember that fight. I've seen Artur Beterbiev hurt and wobbled quite a few times. Quite a few, 3. So I don't think it's the same. Steve Kings, Ade. Roy Jones was saying before the fight he was not training Chris to beat Smith. He was training him to beat GGG and Canelo. How ridiculous when you're former world champ Liam Smith next. Arrogance. Again, maybe their way of trying to sell the fight. Maybe they honestly looked over Smith. Maybe they looked down on him and thought we're another level, and they just got it wrong. Those type of things are all well and good when you win. When you lose, it does look a bit embarrassing. Like all the 60% stuff, and I'm going to saute you. It's okay when it wins, right? I mean, we've seen it with fighters before. We've seen, obviously, Floyd's the big one. Conor McGregor was very good at it. Now, once you lose, it just doesn't look great, does it? Doesn't look great. Najee Holmes, good afternoon from Florida, Ade. Hope it's going well. Jeez. Well, I'd love to be in the nice, warm sunshine of Florida right now. But appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Jack, Tunde is working on a master plan. He's been quiet. He has been quiet, man. Tunde's been very quiet, but it's gonna take one hell of a plan. I'll tell you that now. Mark McCoy, good evening, Ade. Hope you're well. Last week's live was on form. Looking forward to this week's one. Stay safe and keep up the good content. Peace out. Yeah, last week's live was okay, but we messed up a few things. The internet was for some reason freezing a little bit. The internet now, as you guys can see, is back on, and we're gonna get a clock in the corner as well, so we know exactly where I am in the round. So you guys can kind of maybe sync your stream with mine or whatever. But yeah, looking forward to it. Christopher Hurst, great pod, mate. Thank you, Christopher. The more I think about it, the more chance I give Usyk to beat Fury. Dude, you don't even need to think that hard about it. Usyk has like, do you know, guys, now how good this man is? Like, this isn't like, this guy is very, very good. And I'm not just saying it because he beat AJ. I'm not, I promise you. Although that did hurt a little bit twice. He's a very good boxer. Very good boxer. His pro record says that. His amateur record says that. He's incredible. And he's southpaw. Something that we've not spoken about a lot. He's southpaw. How many southpaws has Fury fought? Answers on a postcard. Joe Barrow, I'm supporting Yarde here. I think a lot of people are. What's this one? Cougar Naz. Ade, first question is, do you think Beterbiev fight Bivol in the next 12 months? And second question is, do you ever smell your fingers after scratching your ass? Oh, God, crazy. I certainly do not smell my fingers after scratching my ass. What? I do this, though. I do fart sometimes, and I do that sometimes, but that's it. We're certainly not doing fingers up arse scratch. No, we're not doing that. Your more important question, do I think Beterbiev will fight Bivol in the next 12 months? Look, it all depends what happens in 4 days. In, was it 3 days? If he gets past Yarde, then yes, it's on. If he doesn't, then obviously not. 2 secs. What's this one? Emmett, if Fury versus Usyk is at Wembley, I can understand Fury wanting a 60-40 split. After all, Fury did sell out Wembley on his own. 94,000 versus White, then 65,000 at Tottenham in the middle of winter. Winner get a 60-40. Yeah, I can understand a 60-40. I think Fury's asking for a bit more than 60-40, but I think 60-40 split's fine. Like, I always will say this, though. Like, if it's an undisputed, and the person you're fighting is bringing more than just one belt to the table, then, I mean, if you're Usyk, you can probably say, well, 1 second, dude, I'm bringing 3 belts. And some people might say, well, the belts mean nothing. Well, they don't really, do they? If I'm bringing 3 belts to the table, and let's not act like Usyk isn't known. People know who Usyk is. I mean, if this fight sells out, it's partly due to Usyk as well. Every British fight fan knows who Usyk is. So I can understand what Usyk's saying 50-50. I can fully understand that. But I'm with you. I think 60-40, because, well, you know, Fury is from the UK. I do think 60-40 is fair. Elverly07, great to see a massive world title fight this Saturday, which isn't pay-per-view. Too many, too often these days. Top work, by the way, Eddie. Thank you. Yeah, like, so surprised. And it's good as well. It's good. I think the most important thing that Frank's doing here is that if Yarde wins, then it's going to be seen by millions, right? Or at least how many people have BT Sports, as opposed to it being behind a pay-per-view wall where, I mean, realistically, how much would Beterbiev Yarde do? 150,000 buys? 100,000? You might as well show it to millions. Because if Yarde wins and it's seen by those people, he's now a superstar. So I think it makes sense as well. 84 Boxing says, if Yarde wins, I think he just might. He will be a superstar overnight. He already has the swag, but add the belt. Well, yeah. Honestly, if he wins, he's everywhere. If he wins, he's everywhere. And I think he will transcend sport, not just boxing. Like right now, he's in a boxing bubble. I think if he wins, again, he's a big Arsenal fan. He'll parade his belts in the Emirates. He'll go on shows. He's a star. He's a good-looking kid as well. Speaks well. There's a lot there. There's a lot. Isn't he like an Adidas ambassador? If he wins, honestly, it's liftoff. It's fucking liftoff. Nathaniel, big love, Ade. Keep up the great work. Nathaniel is actually my cameraman who was just in here. Nathaniel was just in here filming for me and Rory. Does a great job. He's been working with me for about a couple of years. Nathaniel helped me set up the studio, the cameras, the lights and stuff. So he's going to help me when I move to the new place. Edward Ricketts. Strangely enough, I've been feeling like Yarde will win in the third after dropping Beterbiev, then have him out on his feet in the follow-up barrage. Was tempted to go for that reason. I'd love to know what that is as bet. I guess that must be like 25-1, 50-1 for him to knock out Beterbiev. Jeez. Even though they don't agree with your Joshua comments, again, very, very one-sided as per, but he's your boy. Yarde gets KO'd in round 4. What did I say about Joshua? I'm not quite sure what I said about Joshua, so remind me, please. P231, remind me. Robbie Blythe, my biggest worry for Yarde, if he goes for a finish and then he gasses, I still feel Beterbiev will win this. Yeah, look, we saw that, didn't we, against Kovalev. I think he's learned a lot from that, though. He's learned a lot. I don't think there'll be that kind of sort of empty the tank thing. I think he's better than that now. He's way more experienced. So I think the gas tank's fine. I really do. I think the gas tank's fine. It's just a case of, is he good enough? Ultimately, look, you know, when you go around and ultimately, is he good enough? And the answer probably is no. So that's why it will be a massive, massive upset. Raymond Hells, my only reservation Yarde is the lack of preparation again. Yeah, I mean, ideally, and this is why I kept on saying I want to see Boatsy Yarde, because for me, that's then a case of, okay, you fought someone that is B level, you beat them, then okay, you can go A level. Right now, Yarde has been really fighting C level opponents. Some might even say lower than that, D level opponents. Lyndon Arthur's a C, by the way, but I'm talking about the rest. So there's that lack of preparation. In terms of fights, though, Beterbiev has not fought for a while. Remember, he's been injured. Yarde had that kind of gimme warm-up fight, didn't he, a couple of months ago? So at least he's been active. But I know what you mean. He's going from DC to literally the god. Like, you know what I mean? To the end boss of that toughest game in the world that's been waiting for you. That's what he's doing. Won't be easy. Stephen Tokley, Beterbiev unifying in division. Bivol busy fighting super middleweights. There's levels to this game. That's interesting. I was at Bivol's last fight, and it certainly wasn't a super middleweight he fought. I'll tell you that now. I mean, certainly wasn't. Yeah. Ade, did I see something? The Last of Us is a good show to watch. First series, 2 episodes, and that came up in my now recommendation. I'm happy you've said that. I'll watch that tonight. I wasn't really even thinking about that, but now you said that. Have you seen Breaking Bad? I can't get into it. You know, can I be honest? I watched the first half an hour and I just stopped. Is it worth continuing? If it is, if you're set, I will continue it. What's this one? The Good Doctor on Prime. Okay, I've got Prime, so I might have to watch that one as well. Prison Break, no interest in whatsoever. Where are we now? What's this one? Let's give our boy Ade some likes so the channel gets more boxing fans. Yep, guys, I'd appreciate it. If you can, just give the video a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate it. What's this one? Acoustics gymnastics. Get your double gyro on the Yarde round 4. Jeez, I remember when I was on job seekers allowance and it was different. I don't know, this is years ago. I don't know what it is like now, but they would send it in the post. They would send it in the post and I'd run to the post office and cash that shit. What was it? How much was it? I think it was like £120 every 2 weeks. Man, I remember that like it was yesterday. That was about 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Hey Ade, after Usyk Fury fight, one is winning. How do you see each boxer's progression after the win? I honestly think there's a good chance the winner calls it quits. I really do. I think, like, what else is there to do? Like, if you're Fury, look, it depends what they both want. If you want to go down as an all-time great, if you're Fury, for me, there is still the AJ and there's still the Joe Joyce fight out there. If you're Usyk, you've become undisputed at cruiserweight, you've become undisputed at heavyweight. I think he might just say enough's enough. I think he might. Remember, Usyk's what, 36, I think? So he might say that's it. Yeah. What's Paul Moss saying? Agree with Eddie Hearn. Yard's got to throw everything at him. Easier said than done. Imagine you throw everything at someone and he's still there. Boxing's a lot smarter than that. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for him. But what's this? Mark Bardsley says, anyone fancy a cheeky film chat for the last 15 minutes? I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. If everyone fancies it, I'm happy to do it. I don't mind a little film chat. What's this? Okay, this is an interesting question. Durrell Carter, Ade, what do you think of the Slap Fight League? I think it's a fucking disgrace. I can't believe it. Like, it reminds me of something that would be underground. Like, you know what I mean? Something that's underground, no disrespect, in some far-fetched Eastern European country where, you know, the hardest men in the world are, you know what I mean? Like something like that. Or something from a time gone by. How the hell that's been given a license and it's on the UFC or it's under their Fight Pass thing is beyond me. How are you standing there with your hands down and letting someone just hit you? And that's classed as a sport. The worst sport I've ever seen. And I've seen a few of them. It's just embarrassing. Embarrassing. All right, a couple of super chats have come in. Let me quickly read them. What is this question? Random question, but got to answer it. Ade, has it been a while since you hooked up with a woman? What? Okay, bit too personal, dude. Bit too personal. Will you tune into KSI's documentary that'll be on Amazon Prime tomorrow? Probably not. Probably not. That's a random question. That is very random. All right, a couple more super chats have come in. This one, no question, but super chat, thank you very much. Actually, I think I saw a question underneath. Yeah, I think there is. Dex Spellman and Beterbiev have both questioned Yard's secretive training and physique. Is this justified? What are they saying? Like what, like juicing or anything like that? Let me tell you this, yeah. I have known Anthony Yarde because we're from the same area. Anthony Yarde used to run a couple of the same people. I remember seeing him, I think, as a 16-year-old, massive. I'm not even joking with you. Like, almost like I feel like he could be smaller than he is now. I'm not even playing. This is me being serious. Thick, thick, like abs. Like, so unless he was juicing when he was 14, then that's just his physique. That's just his physique. Big legs. He's actually lost weight because he started boxing. Yarde is a chunky dude that used to smack a couple of men up on the road as well. He's just that guy. So yeah, that question, his size and all that, no, nonsense. He's just big. He's just big. Don't get me wrong, he's probably chucked in a couple of weights in there as well, but he's just big. Super chat here from President Brush. That's a good name. No question. A couple of you guys are not asking questions, just sending me money. You guys are all rich like that, yeah? Auditing London and the world. And there's a couple more. Oh, it's a very good question, this one. Would Yarde becoming champion officially put Queensberry head of Matchroom stable-wise? Yeah. Because there's not that many champions. I think Matchroom, if I'm correct, in terms of male champions, only have one. That's Lee Wood. Am I right? Yeah. Queensberry would have Tyson Fury, unified, or sorry, WBC light heavyweight champion, and would have Anthony Yarde. Who are the other world champions? Sonny Edwards and Lawrence Okoli. There ain't that many. It's only 5 world champions over here. 5. Crazy, right? 2 secs. Quinn 40 says Tunde has not even been on the fight is right for the past 2 to 3 weeks. He's gone proper AWOL. He's serious about the preparation, obviously. Exactly. I think your last line says it all. Obviously, this is as big as it gets, and for him as well. Not just obviously. Look, it should all be about Yarde, but even for Tunde as a trainer, I think a lot of people gave him stick from the Kovalev fight. I don't think people gave him as much praise as they should about the Arthur fight. But you look at what's in the corner of Beterbiev, and Tunde's got to make sure that he's on point. So I think he's got to get his mind right. He's got to focus, knuckle down, and make sure that he's the best he can be for his man. All right. What's this one? Saim Hossein, how tall is Yarde? I've seen him in Mile End. Looks 5'10 max. No, he's not. What are you talking about? Yarde is 6 foot. I'm 5'10. I'm 5'10, 5'11. It's kind of just in the middle. Yarde's taller than me. Yarde's 6 foot, like a solid 6 foot. Not bigger, not shorter. Yarde's 6 foot. I think Beterbiev's like 6 foot, 5'11. There's not much difference between them. All right, guys. What I would like to do now, there's so many questions as always coming in. Someone said they want to do film chat, which I don't mind, but I don't know where I'm gonna be if we do film chat. 2 secs. Loads. I'm just trying to see if there's any film questions that have come in. If not, we'll still stick to the boxing ones. We've literally got 10 more minutes. So hopefully we do a bit. Let's see if there's any. Really? What's this one? What's your opinion on Parker versus Hunter? It's in talks, I've heard. No, it ain't. Certainly ain't. That fight, that they were talking about that fight like 5 years ago. It's done. It's had it. The Hunter needs to do some work. Hunter's had a weird since Hunter, who was with Matchroom. I don't know how and why Matchroom let him go because I think is a good kid. But since he had that Povetkin draw, remember that one on the undercard of AJ Ruiz, kind of not done much since then. I don't know if it's because of him or I don't know what's happened, but hasn't done much, which is a shame. All right. All right. A lot of you are getting your films in. A lot of you are getting me films in. Or series. The Drop. Breaking Bad is the best series ever. Calm down. Calm down. Zach says, have you ever seen Fauda on Netflix? Never heard of it. Is it any good? Are you telling me it's good? Farah Hassan, Ade, have you got Michelle Joy Phelps's number? I don't, but I could get it in one message, I'm guessing. I just messaged someone and asked for the number. I'm sure they'll give it to me. King Kong Jim says, surely you've seen Stranger Things. No, I haven't. I'm guessing that I've got a lot to watch them. Breaking Bad starts getting great late in series 1. I think I might have to watch. See, listen, I'm happy someone's agreeing with me here. I can't do Breaking Bad either. Tried multiple times and always end up turning off. You know what I turned off the other day that someone told me to watch? Vikings? Something Vikings, something. And I was like, it just took too long. I'm impatient. I was like, what's going on? Ade, can you get Bivol on the show? You know what the funny thing is, yeah? All these people I can get over Zoom. All of them. I could get Bivol tomorrow over Zoom. You know what? Should we try and get Bivol? Little quick interview. Like, I can do it. It's just I hate Zooms. I just don't like it. All right. Wow, look at this comment. Devil Solution says Breaking Bad is the Beterbiev of a show. Wow, is it that good? A lot. Oh my god, everyone's saying it. I'm going home and watching Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, the best shows I've ever watched. Fucking hell. Ade, Breaking Bad is one of the best TV shows ever in capital letters made. It's a slow burner, but it's worth it. Okay. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to watch it. 2 seconds. 2 secs. I'm just trying to see if there's any more. Where are you? Oh, that's a good football one. Jordan Hoyer says, do you think Newcastle United can keep up their current form? American Newcastle fan visited there in August and loved the city. The issue with Newcastle isn't obviously conceding. They're on this ridiculously good run of keeping clean sheets. It's scoring. They don't score enough. I do think that Eddie Howe needs to start Alexander Isak and Callum Wilson together. He seems a bit hesitant to start them two together. I think he might need to change formation and play those two, because I think Isak can come from the right. I think there's enough there, but I mean, it depends. If you're talking current form to keep them in the Champions League places, yeah, I think they'll do that, because I think Chelsea and Liverpool are rubbish this season. A title charge, no. A League Cup, potentially. But yeah, I think he's doing such a good job, Eddie Howe. So regardless of how it ends, I think they'll be there or thereabouts next season. Trust me. Where are we? This is yes. Ade, is the Ben Eubank fight dead? Yes, 100% dead for me. Just because I don't think Eubank can make 160 healthy, and Ben ain't making 168, is he? So yeah. So yeah, for me it's dead. All right, super chat has just come in. Let's quickly read that. Paul K, great content, Ade. Happy Australia Day from Sydney. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. I was so upset when Matchroom went to Australia and they didn't take me. They I think they kept the core team, but then let all the commentators from Australia do the job, which is good actually. But I was so upset. A lot of people are telling me about Breaking Bad. I'm getting a lot of stick, so I'm gonna have to watch Breaking Bad. You know what? Yeah, this one, Briz Toz, another absolute stellar show is Gangs of London. First one, fantastic. Second one, just stupid, like dumb for me. I didn't like the second one at all. In fact, I've stopped watching the second one, although the first one was really, really good. Someone telling me to watch the recap of season 1 and maybe start season 2 because it's very slow. Of the Breaking Bad, by the way. Oh shit, have I missed it? Breaking Bad is a bit dated now. You've missed it. Not really. The other day, what I watched the other day? I don't know how old you guys are. I watched 24 the other day. Remember that? Kiefer Sutherland. Isn't it? Yeah. I watched that the other day, and that's old. That's like 15, 20 years old. Still look good. Didn't mind it. Oh, see, Breaking Bad is boring. Fuck, I don't know what to do. You ain't gonna believe this if I tell you this. I've not watched The Sopranos. I'm being serious, guys. I've watched little bits, but I've not sat down and watched it from start to end. I've got a lot to watch. I've got to watch The Sopranos. I've got to watch Breaking Bad, and I think Better Call Saul was another one as well. Sopranos all day. Breaking Bad is the best. That's from Dark Side of the Moon. Marley Wolf. Oh, Marley, Marley, where have you been, brother? I ain't seen you for ages. Sopranos is better. I did love Breaking Bad, but Sopranos all day long. What was the one that I really liked? About the guy that's laundering money. Oh, what the fuck's it called? Ozark. Give it Ozark fans in the house. I thought Ozark was incredible. I think the acting in Ozark was insanely good, like Oscar-worthy acting or Emmy-worthy, obviously, because it's a TV series. Gomorrah is very good as well. I don't know if you guys have watched Gomorrah. Italian. Is it Italian or Spanish? I think it's Italian gangster kind of mafia stuff. It's very, very good. But for me, Ozark for me was insane. Oh, watch this, Becca. I watched this. The show Losers on Netflix is great, and the first episode is on Michael Benn. If you guys haven't watched that, please go and watch that. So interesting here from Michael Benn, and the way he describes just what boxing was to him and the fear he had. It's insane. Go and watch that if you can, please. Very, very good. I really like that. What's he saying? Breaking Bad from season 3, best series I've watched. Fucking hell. A lot of you are saying that. Jeez. Okay, what's this one? What's this? Ade, watch Czech Streets on the Hub. Always a different cast. Funny. What a bit of money gets you on Czech Republic. I might have to watch that. Czech Streets. I might have to watch that. But it does look like I'm happy. Finally, I've got a friend. Spartan Boxing. Yes, people. Ozark, the GOAT. Yeah. For me, Ozark is fucking incredible. All right, 5 more minutes, peeps. Then your boy's got to go home. I'm tired. And I don't have a car anymore. I got rid of my car. Just a waste. So I walk home. It's quite far. I just feel I'm trying to get my steps in. Yeah. Wait. You know what? I didn't mind this. I started watching Sons of Anarchy a little bit. I stopped, I think, after a couple of series, but I did kind of do like a binge thing. But I kind of got bored towards the end, but I didn't mind it. Darren James, Snowfall, started it, stopped. I've been if you started it, then stopped. Yeah. All right, here we go. Someone's done their top 5. Guys, get your top 5 in. Top 5 TV series, and I'll read them all out very quickly. Edward Ricketts. My personal favorite top 5 shows are Fringe, The Wire, Ozark, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. Never, ever watch Game of Thrones. I'm being very honest with you. Never. What's the top 5s? No. I'm not having that. Simon, I'm not having that. Look, it was a bit unrealistic, but you've got to love that the Mexican female gangster. Come on, man. She was amazing. What? She was amazing. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I haven't watched this. No. Mark Morris recommending something. Ade, have you watched Prize Fighters on Amazon? True story about 18th century boxing in England. I haven't watched that. Have you guys watched 90s boxing movie called The Gladiator? Have you guys watched that? Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it. Underrated and underappreciated boxing movie. Like, well, honestly, for me, it's one of the best boxing movies ever. It's not your typical boxing, it's underground boxing. Underground. Jeez. I can't, this it has to be this good then. Everyone's saying it. Ade, Breaking Bad is the GOAT. Don't know why people are saying it's a slow season 1. It's the best show I've ever watched. Watch that, then El Camino, then BCS. Looks like I've got what I'm doing tonight. Looks like I'm going home and putting my feet up and watching a bit of Breaking Bad. Right, here we got another top 5. Narcos, The Snitch Cartel, I'm thinking that is Bad Blood, Sons of A, or Anarchy, I'm guessing. El Dragon. What's El Dragon? Yeah, you know what? I think, this Spartan Boxing, I'm kind of liking this dude. Top Boy's GOAT. Top Boy's incredible. The acting from Kano. Kano should be in America acting. I think he's that good. Honestly, I think he's that good. Fucking hell, this person This Jam 84, I think, was born in 1984. I think he's old like me. Lost the bill. There'll be some of you who are under 30 that have no idea what the bill is. And you probably have no idea what London's Burning is as well. Those two are goated shows. Let me tell you now, yeah, the bill and London's Burning, solid. Sons and Daughters and Woof. Yeah, he is about 50. He's about 50. All right, guys, girls, we might just, you know what I might do, yeah? I don't know if you guys know, but I've got a Patreon. I don't really do no content on there. It's there. I think we're gonna have to relaunch it and do something, some movie TV thing. I think it's wrong to talk movies and TV on this boxing show. It doesn't quite make sense. But I think we're gonna have to do it on the Patreon. I'm gonna have to work out how we do it. But I like these kind of chats. I find them fun because I'm a big movie head. So yeah, watch this space. But in terms of what we're gonna do next, you know me, a video will be up tomorrow about something, and then we've got the live on Saturday, and then the live on Sunday as well. But have a good day, peace and love. Look after yourself, and send me some bloody movie recommendations as always. But guys and girls, peace and love.